All right, let's just jump right in. We're going to talk about something we all use every single day, but maybe don't think about enough: the power of our words. I mean, the real unseen power they have over our relationships, our careers, pretty much our entire lives. It's a tool we use constantly, but do we really understand how to use it or the damage it can do?
I mean, who hasn't, right? That feeling is the worst. I remember giving what I thought was some really helpful advice to a senior colleague once. It did not go well. It totally backfired, and honestly, it put a dent in our relationship for years. It's that horrible, sinking feeling in your stomach, where you just wish you could literally pull the words back out of the air. Today, we're going to dig into why that happens, and more importantly, what we can do about it.
So, first up, let's really get into this gap, this massive chasm between what we mean to say and how our words actually land on the other side. This is where, honestly, most communication just completely breaks down. And learning how to bridge that gap? Well, that's what we're here to figure out today.
I think this slide just lays it out so perfectly. Our words are this incredible double-edged sword. Used the right way, they can build relationships, launch a career, even heal old wounds. But, and this is the scary part, used carelessly, even when we don't mean any harm, they can become weapons that tear down the very things we've worked so hard to build.
And this right here, this is the heart of the whole problem. The source material makes this crystal clear. Words are always subjective. There's no such thing as a purely objective statement when people are involved. What feels like simple, logical, helpful advice to you can land like a deeply personal attack to someone else. And that gap in perception, that's where nearly every single conflict comes from.
So we know that negative words can hurt, but why do they seem to have so much more power, so much more staying power than positive ones? Well, there's a really powerful psychological reason for this, and the source calls it the one drop of poison effect.
This idea is kind of chillin', isn't it? Imagine you're giving feedback to someone, and it's 99% praise, full of genuine positive intent. But you slip in just 1% of criticism, just a little negative comment. The argument here is that this tiny 1% can completely wipe out all the good stuff you said.
And it gets even crazier. That one little comment, that 1%, can lodge itself in a person's brain so powerfully that it feels like it's the only thing you've been saying to them for the last decade. Think about your own life. Hasn't a single piece of criticism ever completely overshadowed 100 compliments for you? It sticks.
Now, this isn't just a feeling or you being overly sensitive. It is hardwired into our brains. It's a real psychological principle called the negativity bias. Our brains literally evolved to be like Velcro for bad experiences and Teflon for good ones. It's a survival instinct, right? Missing a berry bush isn't fatal, but missing the tiger in the bushes definitely is. So our brain treats criticism like a threat, and it burns it into our memory.
The source uses this metaphor, and it's just perfect. That one negative comment is like a single drop of ink in a glass of clear water. You can try to pour more clear water in, you can try to dilute it with apologies and praise later, but the water is never going to be perfectly clear again. The stain is always there.
So, if our words carry that much power, how does our relationship with them change as we go through life? It's not something we're just born knowing. As we're going to see, it's a journey. As we get older, we start to really feel the impact, and this growing sense of responsibility starts to change the very way we speak.
I love how this source outlines this progression. In our 20s, maybe we're all about being sharp and quick-witted, but that can also mean we're careless. We might leave a trail of small wounds without even noticing. By our 30s, we've probably messed up enough times to start learning some lessons. But then, somewhere in our 40s and beyond, we truly get it. Our words have weight, and we start to choose each one with a lot more care.
Now, this is a really important point. The idea of heavy words isn't about becoming quiet or talking less. Not at all. It means that every word you choose to say is packed with more thought, more experience, and a deeper understanding of the responsibility that comes with it.
And this weight gets magnified exponentially when you're in a position of authority. A team leader might make a casual, offhand remark about a potential problem with a project. To them, it's just a thought bubble. But to a team member, it can cause a sleepless night full of anxiety. That anxiety can spread, morale can dip, and suddenly the whole project grinds to a halt. One light comment can have a very, very heavy impact.
But look, we're all human. We're going to make mistakes, we're going to say the wrong thing and hurt people sometimes, no matter how careful we try to be. So, what do we do then? The source has this incredibly profound idea for how to make things right, and it goes way beyond just saying, "I'm sorry."
Toki o nuku doryoku. It translates to the effort to remove the thorn.
And isn't that just a perfect metaphor? When your words have hurt someone, it really does feel like you've left a sharp thorn embedded in their heart.
So what does this effort actually look like? Well, it's absolutely not a quick, my bad, just to get it over with. It's not a one-time fix. It's a slow, patient, sincere process. It's about taking real, long-term responsibility for the hurt you caused and proving through your actions over and over that you respect the person and are truly committed to mending the relationship.
And this is the most crucial part of the whole idea. You can't just reach in and yank the thorn out for them. If you try, you'll just cause more pain and do more damage. All you can do is patiently, sincerely, and consistently create a safe space around them. You create the conditions, through your actions and your respect, that allow them to feel safe enough to remove the thorn themselves when they are ready.
So when you put all of these pieces together, what do you get? It's not just a list of do's and don'ts. It's a complete, living framework for how to communicate responsibly, not just for a day or a week, but for a lifetime.
It really does flow in a cycle. You start by putting in the work to truly understand another person. Then, based on that understanding, you speak with care and intention. As you live and learn, you let your words add weight. They mature with you. And finally, when you inevitably mess up, because we all do, you commit to the hard, patient work of repair. It's not a destination. It's a process of constant growth.
You know, we've spent most of this time talking about the dangers, the pitfalls, the responsibility of our words. But I want to leave you with this final thought. Let's flip the whole thing on its head. If one single negative word truly has the power to create a decade of pain, just think about the alternative. What is the power of one thoughtful, sincere, positive word? What kind of healing could it start? What kind of inspiration could it provide? What kind of better future could you start building with that power right now?